All right. Welcome, everybody. You know, maybe one year we'll have a really cool stage that rotates as we're talking to you, but unfortunately, we're only facing one direction. I am the voice of God today. There is no voice of God. This is True to the Core. If you didn't know it was True to the Core and you're in the wrong spot, you're welcome to leave. But if you came for True to the Core, that's what we're here for, and it's really to hear from you what we haven't done, and basically to shame us and all the things that we should have done that would have been good for everyone, and for you to give us that feedback. We have an incredible cast of characters here, which are leaders of product and technology. We also have some incredible leaders of product and technology. I think, where is everybody? Over here. Yeah. So everybody wants to be here to hear from you. You know, and also, I don't know the answers to most of the questions, so I need people to help me. So with that, I think, do we have some opening slides that we're going through, David?
We do.
Can I hand it to you?
You may.
All right, take it away. David Schmeier, our President of Product and Chief Product Officer, the everything.
Is that what I do?
The OG. What do you do?
Thank you, Parker.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everybody. It is great to be here, and couldn't be more excited about this Dreamforce. We've been getting incredible feedback, and when I've been building software for 3 decades, and the best product people, all these amazing product managers, are the best listeners. And so that's why we're here. We want to listen to you. We want to learn from you. And hopefully you've seen the pace of innovation at Salesforce, which has been an innovator for 25 years, has really picked up. And so we are innovating at a scale, at an unprecedented rate. So I couldn't be more proud of our product and engineering teams. Having said that, as Parker said, we're here to talk about what we haven't done.
Yeah.
But we're really proud of this platform approach to Agentforce. So we do think that humans and agents working together is the future. And it's hard to believe, but we brought 5,200 customers live on Agentforce in their sandboxes in the first 2 days of Dreamforce.
How many of you gone to that section and tried it out? Yeah? I'm going right after this session. I'm going to go learn how to do it myself.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if there's a leaderboard on this, but I think that's the most agents in a single sitting in human history. So it is kind of, because agents are new, so the bar is low. But still, we're very, very proud of that. And, you know, we have to choose when we come into Dreamforce, like what's the high level message, and Agentforce was what we picked. But there's a lot of other cool things like Salesforce Foundations, which I'm really excited about, which hopefully this community is really excited about that. And the other thing that we've really taken seriously in the last 4 years is doing more based on what you vote on. And so, you know, we really take that seriously. Yeah, you can clap for that. And the other thing we've really taken seriously is being more transparent about our roadmap. There was never
I'm really excited about this, David, because I think they asked for this like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, we finally...
So we're very responsive, and it's great that we finally got it out.
And a couple of years later, Here it is. But now you can see these roadmaps online, and you can share information back and forth and chat with the product managers. And our idea is to show you what we're going to do before we do it. We all do something called 3-Release Roadmap Summit, where we look at the next 3 releases. So that's what we'll do. We'll congratulate our team when we ship the October release for a day, and then we'll get right back to work on the next one. And that's how it works in software. But this is really cool. I hope you like it. We'd love to get your feedback on it. And we also want to do more roadmap previews and webinars where we sit down and walk through it and answer your questions interactively. So again, very excited about it. It was a great idea to do this. And, you know, better late than never, Parker. And then this just shows you our commitment to this forum here, to True to the Core. And we really do, all kidding aside, like we like to have fun in the software business, but we take your votes and your ideas seriously. So our points delivered are up 40% year over year.
Yeah, clap for that.
Our ideas delivered are up 30% year over year. And our ideas updated by the product managers are up 35% year over year. So we're really excited about it. So keep those cards and letters coming and join our Truth of Force community if you scan the barcode there, and you can kind of get there. I think we're now going to turn it over to Kush. And I really want to, first of all, thank you, Kush, and the Alice and the platform team, which gets sort of the brunt of these ideas, because I think what you're about to talk about is really some groundbreaking stuff. So take it away, Kush.
Thanks, David. And it definitely takes a village, and that village is sitting all over here and streaming in. So first and foremost, it's really great to see everyone. Now, last year at Dreamforce, David and Parker made an investment of dedicated resources to work on True to the Core. So let's now touch on some of those returns of those investments. We'll start off with Dynamic Forms. Now, Dynamic Forms continues to get better. We continue to hear your feedback. We continue to act upon it. We've closed a ton of IDX points these last 2 releases. And most importantly, the adoption of Dynamic Forms is growing at a very, very healthy rate, which tells us that we're moving in the right direction. Next.
Nobody wants Dynamic Forms? That's cool. All right.
Now, the modernization of setup is definitely in full swing.
Woo! Yeah. This is good.
Thank you, Parker. Thank you. We've established the right API platform so that teams can build Lightning UI in setup very quickly. And what this has done is that it's enabled the accelerated delivery of a number of key capabilities across user access management and reports and dashboards. Now, we've got a lot up our sleeve looking into the future, but the one that we're really excited about is bringing Agentforce to setup. Next, we're really excited to share that local development for LWC is now available across sites, Lightning, and mobile. This is your number 2 ask. And we are confident that this will dramatically reduce your debug time and your time to value. What's just as exciting is we're working on your number 1 ask as well around state management, and stay tuned for that to be released in the next offering. We've heard your feedback around Experience Cloud and the problems you face with deploying it. Now, a year ago in summer, we had about 250 customer cases for this. This past summer, it went down to 0. Now, we still have a lot of work ahead of us. We're going to continue to round the corners, and we wanted you to know that we're going to keep an eye on this going forward as well. Next. Lightning is now 26.2% faster.
Yes.
The engineering team has been working actively on this. They are moving every stone, leaving no stone unturned as we march our way towards our goal of 40% by the end of the next release. And we will not close a single IDX point on this until you tell us that it's actually really faster.
Srini, do we put people on unstable releases? Because I see that there's stable releases there.
That's the data collection.
Data collection.
Data collection.
All right, just checking.
All right.
I'm thinking, even I was looking at it. Hey.
And now the migration of list views from Aura to LWC is complete. We finally now have the right foundation to innovate upon. We've already delivered multi-column sort for lists.
Yeah.
That said, this epic of multi-column sorts is the number 1 on IDX, and that epic isn't complete until we solve related lists, and that is expected in our spring release. So again, lots of innovation on this front.
All right, and from there, Kush, thank you. And we also have heard your feedback on the UI and the design of the UI yourself. You've walked the floor, you've seen the new look, and in our keynotes you've seen it, and we're so proud to announce this is the new default out-of-the-box style. Updated typography color, clear hierarchies. But what's also happening is we have a full WCAG 2.1 AA accessibility out of the box that we're going to continue to maintain with this new system. But what's really exciting is there's flexibility under the hood now. So it looks new, and there's a lot more you can do. Whereas there were 2 dimensions of styling you could do with our prior original Lightning UI, there will now be 11 and more different types of customizations you can make to the styling of this UI. So that flexibility under the hood gives us a whole new level of branding and theming that you can do across your organizations.
So when you get to 10 styles, you need that one little extra style.
Dial it up to 11.
You can go to 11.
That's right. Take it to 11. How's it going? We have over 7,000 orgs on this new UI across Starter, Pro, Sales, EE, PE, and a lot more coming in the winter and this coming year. We're also testing this with customization, highly customized organizations, making sure that it's flowing with all the components that you've invested in and it is fully compatible. Next slide, please. And a little peek at what SLDS 2, that's what we're calling it, is going to enable. So that flexibility under the hood gives us the chance to do things like night mode. And I knew there'd be a couple of applause. Advanced user preferences, high contrast, those all can now come out of the box, in addition to the flexibility that you can create in your own themes to make this look and feel the best it possibly can for your users. So if you want to learn more, take a quick scan of that code, follow along as we're announcing the updates here. And again, huge thanks to the team for all the work that's gone into these updates. Back to you, Parker.
All right. Well, now to the meat of it. I think we have 2 mics here, so please jump up while you're getting up there. Oh, there we go. All right. Charlie, you can't ask any questions. While you're waiting, within setup, we've emphasized the focus on user access. What plans come next after user access?
Yeah, so our next plan is to look at templatizing a number of aspects of the UI. So we started with access summaries, list views. Now, how do we go beyond that? Our friends over on Sales Cloud have actually started an approach of Sales Go. There's a lot of goodness in that we want to templatize and offer to anyone building within setup.
All right, great. And if you didn't notice, this line's longer than that line, but just saying. Okay, we'll start here, please.
Well, first of all, thank you, as I always like to start with, especially for me. I do a lot of presentations on design and UI, as Kat knows, so thank you for the design and UI updates. And thank you to the PMs who have been delivering setup fixes that result in fewer clicks for admins. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a very specific question about the integration user. So if you're in an industries org, you get a license and a PSL, permission set license, that go together. It's my understanding, I haven't tested this I don't have a client on industries at the moment, but if let's say you buy 10 licenses and you have 9 humans and then you build 1 integration user and you got to give that your PSL so it can see the industry's objects, your 10th human does not have a PSL available. And of course, if you need to buy one, your integration user is no longer free.
That's a great question.
Wow, you can answer that?
I don't think it's technology. I think it's policy. You just have to decide we need to fix this.
Parker, I said great question. Great answer. So with the integration users, we've switched over to using permission sets, as you know, and we did that for security reasons. It's a modern way of doing it. We've run into some challenges, right? We've run into some challenges because permission sets have a secure by default setting. So by default, you don't have permission to anything, which is the right thing from security. But I know that people are like, well, with the admin user,
I wrote the book on how to implement it.
Yeah, with the admin user, everything was on, and now it's all off. And so, but that we can work through. There's also been a couple of issues where permission set licenses didn't have all of the right capabilities in there. If you see any of those, let us know, file a bug. We're going to fix all of them because we absolutely want this to work for you. And I see Jay in the front row. So Jay, is there anything else you want to add here to what we're doing? No. Here, got my mic. Here you go.
Whoa.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback. I think Chris and team who have been focused on this, we've been hitting the tactical things to get this rolled out. I think with the specific PSL issue, this is something we should be able to fix and just kind of not count against the licensing for the integration users.
Right, thank you.
Third answers, we'll fix it.
And while I'm at it, let me note, marketing user checkbox, which I'm sure, Parker, you'd love to get rid of. Same problem. If you give one to an integration user, you don't have one for a human.
All right, and just get your nomenclature right. It's not integration user, it's agent.
Excuse me.
So I'm Umair. I'm part of the analytics team. So I know the exact issue. Please tell me which particular user or which particular cloud you're looking at. We'll help fix it.
All right, great. Now we'll go over here. Next question. Thank you. That's a great question.
Hi. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I've been in the ecosystem for almost 19 years now, wearing my lightning shirt.
So what took you so long to ask a question?
I'm really excited about the way the tool has grown and continues to grow. Thank you for that. Thank you for letting me make my living and support my lifestyle and my family by Salesforce. Customer support is a problem, and I would do a lot of work. I'm a consultant. I do a lot of work with nonprofits. The choices now are Signature, Premier, or Basic Support. The problem with basic support is it takes days. With a nonprofit, they're usually running so slim, they need something right now. But even if you pay for Premier support, the first response is, oh, let us know that a time that we can get on the phone or on a Zoom and talk about your problem. If you would just read what I wrote in my ticket, then we wouldn't have to get on a phone and talk about the problem. And some of us.
Jim Rose.
Wow, if I'd have known I was going to get this, I would have talked sooner. And some of us really want the answer in writing so that we know that we are understanding, we can read it, we can remember it, because we're going 70 miles an hour. Thank you.
Agentforce?
Thanks for the question. Couple things there.
Who are you?
Oh, sorry, Parker. I'm Jim Roth. I run the customer support team and Trailhead and a few other things. But thanks for the question. We agree with you that basic standard support is too slow. We're working right now to turn on chat for standard support. It's not on there as well, so that'll get you sub 1 minute response times for standard. A big piece of that is what Parker said, which is Agentforce. So we're launching Agentforce on the help portal on October 11th, and so that'll be a big piece as well. So we want, really to address your question, we want to move from what we've traditionally had was asynchronous responses via the back and forth, which caused this problem, to synchronous responses using chat and Agentforce.
Thank you.
All right, great. Yes, please.
Parker, thanks for having me here. I don't know if I'm facing the right way, actually.
You are facing absolutely the right way.
Thanks, Parker.
Mike, good to see
as
you.
I told you last year, Salesforce is the most digitally accessible business enterprise application on the planet, bar none. So well done. However, it's clear that there are still a lot of issues that are hitting the releases, and I think, I don't know where the level of attention is being done at the design level, right? So many issues won't hit production if your accessibility practices are solid in design.
Yeah.
And then on the regression testing, we're finding the bugs before your team is.
Okay, that's not good.
It's not good. So
can we hire some people on your team?
We're at your beck and call, Parker. We're at your beck and call.
All right.
But accessibility, the European Act of 2025 is about to go in. The Department of Justice just reinforced the Americans with Disabilities Act. Accessibility is not a something to have. It is a have to have.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Thank you for that, Mike. So we'll let Kat Holmes, who runs all user experience for us.
Hey, Mike. I am with you all the way. One of the things I'm excited about in our design system update is being able to drive, especially as WCAG compliance and criteria are changing constantly. 2.2 is right around the corner, making sure we can update those centrally through that design system. So that's one piece. And then also things that we can bake into our tooling and testing before things go out the door. So we're making a huge investment both in what we do in Figma up front, making sure that everything from the design stage forward is taking reflow, resizing, not just the color contrast, but all of the kind of focus order pieces that are really critical. And then as we bring it out the door, also automated tooling that will do more testing and catching those bugs alongside what our teams are being trained up to do at a higher level. So it's top of mind. I'm with you. We're going to keep making progress there.
We added it explicitly. We used to make it as a definition of done for all the Scrum teams. Now we also brought it higher up in the TNPV2 MOM. For those of you know how we work, it's an explicit goal. So I think you'll see, just like we do availability, security, performance, accessibility has been uplifted. So I think you'll see a lot of changes happening,
right?
With a lot more executive sign-offs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really important because there's no finish line to accessibility, just like with quality and trust overall, and we'll keep investing. Keep calling us on it when we're not holding up our side of the bargain there. Thank you, Mike.
So, Agentforce is amazing. Everyone should go downstairs and try it out. It works. It's great when you get to present something and it's working great from day one. I cannot wait to bring this new shiny toy to my clients. And my clients use industries.
Clients use?
Use industries. So financial services cloud, public sector, nonprofit cloud. They are investing a lot in Omni Studio. So they're using data integration procedures to bring in data. They're building a lot on Service Studio, OmniScript. How can we bridge that to Agentforce so that they don't have to rewrite everything again, so that to make sure that everything is in flow?
Thank you for building your own Agentforce, and I agree, everyone should go to downstairs to build your own Agentforce. That is a great suggestion. I'd love to partner with you on that. We are releasing over 100 industry-specific agent actions this week, along with the overall release. And it right now has Flow, it has MuleSoft, it has Apex Code. I'd love to partner with you on that other piece.
Thank you.
Good question. Yeah.
I'm Alon. I've been here before to bug you guys several times. Before I ask my question, I just want to say it's really, really nice to hear that people are using integration users. So that's awesome. And so integration users is a good example of when there was a best practice in how you guys want us to do stuff, and it wasn't really built to let us do that, and then you brought in integration users, and that was fantastic. Along the same lines, when I use Salesforce and there's a best practice, I want to make sure I'm using a Salesforce tool. At least I think there should be a Salesforce tool to enable me to do that rather than going to a partner tool. So for 8 years, I used chain sets. And I don't do that anymore because I use DevOps Center. But DevOps Center seems like nobody cares about it because in the 1 year that I've used it, I haven't seen a single new feature. And there are such glaringly obvious things that should be added that seem, from my perspective, simple. So I'm just curious, are we going to give more effort or more resources or see changes to DevOps Center sometime soon?
So I'm glad to hear that you're moving from change sets to source-driven development. I agree with you. It's a better way to develop. It's how we want it. We want to see both our low-code and pro-code users being able to do that. We are investing in DevOps Center. We have a team on it. We're going to continue to invest in it. This year, it went slower than we expected. We were dealing with some issues that we were hearing from you. And we were fixing things and making them work. We have a bunch of investments coming out. I saw Dan and Chris Williams. Yeah, do you want to just jump up to the mic and tell people about what's...
Hey, how's it going? This isn't awkward at all. So a couple things that we launched. So Bitbucket Beta. For support, we had been hearing that this is one of the key blockers. People make an investment in a source code control provider. They want to make sure it's supported. We launched the beta now. DevOps Center testing. So first-class support for testing. This is a pilot that's running now. We announced 4 partners, and now we have quality gates. So anytime you're moving into production, you get to set the bar, much like the security folks that will check the hologram. You're doing that for production. You must meet this bar for this application. That can be unit tests or other coded UI tests, for example. And those all ship now. And obviously, we have a lot more investments within there, doing things like our code analysis tools as well. I see John Bello over here as well. So we are making investments. I'd love to learn more on where you see. And the other big one was the VCS integration. So we're using GitHub Events, which frankly was flaky. And so one of the things we allow for is auto-sync for you to sync, which was a challenge that we heard from you all.
Cool. I mean, thank you for working on it. I do have specific things I can talk to you about.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome.
So, yes.
Right. We'd love to hear the specifics.
Thanks,
yes,
everybody.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, just real quick, 1 second. How do I get the new UI enabled for existing orgs?
Great. Sorry, I threw out my own. I was so excited by that question. My own ear. Great question. So currently, you'll see we got some orgs that are set up by addition, and those are new customers now. We're going to see more additions rolling out for new customers. Those, there's a little toggle we have as a starting point where we can toggle on and toggle off easily inside of the UI section of setup. And that's just a starting point to be able to get it rolling out as an opt-in, right? Customers can try it out, and if it's something you want to make a little more tinkering on, then you can also turn it off and then turn it back on when you're ready. But as more additions come out, we're also getting ready to roll this out to existing customers, and we just want to make sure all the right tooling's in place to make that as easy as possible to assess your code, find those customizations that might need a little bit of tweaking. We're finding it's usually an incremental amount. And then you can get it ready in a sandbox environment before you roll it out to your users. So you see that between now and Hillary, do you want to mention kind of the time frame in which we're bringing new additions forward for existing customers?
Yeah, so for existing customers, we are targeting summer of 25. And I encourage everyone to also go to our session today at 1:30, where you're going to learn the context behind the new UI. And we're also going to talk a little bit about availability and how you can stay up to date on the latest when you can turn it on in your org.
Is there a place at Dreamforce that's dedicated to user experience, and is there a place people can go and say, hey, I'd like to turn it on, and what do you think about this, and how could I make this UI better?
Come visit our spot in Platform Park, and you can see both the UI in action, but also how to get SLDS2 ready, so you will be fully ready when it's time to turn it on.
All right, so go to that session, go check it out in Platform Park, you said?
Yes.
Okay, Platform Park. Good. Next.
So there's been a big focus on unifying data.
Are those questions on your shirt, by the way?
No, this is all the setups. It's not, actually there's more that aren't listed, including setup, and admin setup for admins to use. I figured we needed to show all the setups.
Have you tried out the agent that will set up agents?
Well, that's agent setup,
I'm not
but
joking,
that's not listed yet.
Because it may just be an agent doing it for you.
We'll see. I don't know. It'll be... So there's been a big focus on unifying your data. However, Salesforce has a lot of products, and the products are somewhat built in silos. There's the Customer 360 apps team like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, all of the different industries, all these different clouds. Then there's the platform. Funding seems like it's gone to what clouds bring in revenue. So Sales Cloud, Service Cloud bring in a lot of revenue. Platform over here doesn't bring in direct revenue, but supports all of these. So what happens is, the Customer 360 app teams get funding, so then they build new stuff, which is locked in their silo of a Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or whatever team they're on, and then Platform doesn't get it built. But then, say, Service Cloud has document generation to support FSL. Now, Sales Cloud might want to have it, but now Service Cloud has no incentive to make it available. Can we look at shifting funding from building stuff in silos of Customer 360 apps, build them for platforms so that all the teams can use them, and really look at maximizing, number one, shareholder value, and also reducing duplicate work of why would two teams build the same thing? Examples, document generation. Another one, feature discovery. We have My Service Journey, or My Salesforce Journey, which is built by Service Cloud. We have Sales Cloud Go, which is the new Sales Cloud setup. So those single solo admin can use Sales Cloud setup, service setup, all the setups for one person. It doesn't make sense.
I blame David. I think you're absolutely... Do you work at Salesforce, by the way?
No.
All I'm thinking, did my ChatGPT therapy session leak?
I mean, number one, platform does drive revenue, so I just want to make sure you understand that. And I think the woman beside me would probably be the first to say, yes, we need to fund it more. But David wanted to go first.
By the way, welcome to my world. This is what I look at every day, is what you're talking about. And I'll give you some evidence of this. First of all, we want to root out duplicative work. So we used to have 2 revenue clouds. Now we have 1. We used to have 3 payment teams. Now we have 1. So I'd love to get a list of all the duplicative things that you see, because I'm constantly going around and merging teams and merging charters so that we don't have that. We want one component for the entire suite. The second thing is, I think what you are saying is directionally correct as of 3 or 4 years ago, but there's more work than maybe you know that's going on to unify the suite now. One of our biggest investments, besides the AI focus with Agentforce, is what we call more core. So bringing Marketing Cloud and Commerce Cloud onto the suite. And because of that, that enabled Salesforce Foundations. And so that was everything you're saying was the genesis behind Foundation. So now you basically can get in a sandbox for free the car with all the options. And you can just try out everything. Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Service Cloud, Commerce Cloud, Data Cloud, AI in the flow work, Prompt Builder, and now Agentforce. And you can just play around with it. And if you decide you want to use it, then you can pick the edition you want. You can use consumption through the digital wallet. So the idea is to move from individual clouds to more and more people going with the suite. I believe in 3 years, that's what every customer will be doing, is moving to the multi-cloud suite. And we want to make it as easy as possible to do that. So, my goal, my dream is we have 2,500 SKUs today that there'll be one SKU and it'll just be the integrated suite and everybody will go to it and use it. And then increasingly we'll go from users to users plus consumption. And the consumption side, you pay for what you use. But I'd love to get a list from you of the specifics of like what you want to see more integrated, where you see the redundancies. But I think of myself as the chief redundancy officer. I'm going around and squashing those things. So these are like bugs, not features. So love to talk more about it.
Yeah, and I'll just add as well, I love your question, by the way, thank you. But we're also unifying the analytics suite as well. So instead of having 4 or 5 different stacks, one unified analytics solution. So 100% to what David said. And it's, again, really, I appreciate the question.
And can I add to it too? So thank you, Andrew. I love your pitch for more resources. That's awesome. I wasn't here 3 or 4 years ago. I've only been here for 1.5 years. And since I've been here, we've increased the investment in the platform, and we've increased it pretty dramatically. You saw there was 1 million IDX points. That was from investment. Thank you, David. Thank you, Parker, for that, specifically on Idea Exchange and being able to tackle those. But it's more than that. As we've approached AI, I think our first version of it was to look at, hey, what are some low-hanging fruits that we can hit inside of sales, inside of service. But this big investment, what you're seeing with Agentforce here, is all an investment in the fundamental underlying platform of AI that we can use across all of our different clouds, but also you can use as part of custom application development, custom creation, and leverage, for whatever you want to build on the platform, because it's part of the core platform. And one of the other things I'm excited about when you talk about, hey, we're unifying, we're pulling things into more core, is an investment in DevSecOps across all of our clouds. And so you're seeing that, and you're going to continue to see that with consistent developer abilities. So William, we just launched Data Cloud sandboxes, and we're bringing all of that in so that you can build across all of these different clouds. Yeah. And that's all platform investment. So I'm excited to be here.
Final 3 thoughts.
I like your shirt.
One, yeah, and your shirt's amazing. I'd like one. One is the 2 biggest investments by far we've made, More Core and Agentforce and the AI stack, all platform investments that benefit every cloud. 2 is that we've taken a platform approach to Agentforce, and that's why it's so powerful, is that these agents can play multiple roles. They can seamlessly hand off with each other. They can seamlessly hand off to team members in different clouds. And then the third thing I'm really proud of is, some of you know I used to lead the Service Cloud. I see Gotham in the audience. We invested a huge amount of resources in completing SCRT2, and now we natively offer all of these digital channels, whether it's Apple Business Messaging or WhatsApp. We just acquired a voice company. That is not going to be limited to Service Cloud. That powers all of Agentforce.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan. Good question. So for dashboards, we have a very restricted amount of color schemes that we can access. Is it possible to have a custom color scheme option so that we can reflect our own company branding guidelines for color choice? This seems like a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer, and I don't know where the question came from.
It came from right here.
Came from right there. But
it came from someone who was next in line to ask a question.
So in our keynote yesterday, which was at 12:30, if you missed it, it's now available online. We talked about the future and the unification of all of our analytics stacks, which I'm very excited about. It's called Tableau Einstein. It's built on the Salesforce core platform. And in the demo, at the end of the demo, we talked about things like rounded corners, things like the new UI, which we just talked about here. Also the fact that you can have custom color schemes and all the things that you want that you haven't had in Tableau and other analytics products that we offer. So we're on that journey. and very excited about it.
Awesome. All right, great. Okay, right over here. Thank you.
Awesome. So first, thank you so much for taking these questions. And I'm going to preface this with thanks to the Flow team for everything you've done. I don't know if you want to clap after my question. So as a software engineer, on 15 years on Salesforce, the true culture of the development experience and the engineering rigor we've had around Apex since day one was test-driven development. It was a requirement that you could not build code in production and that your code had to meet at least that 70% testing guidelines, right? So I'm glad we bring up testing gating. Today, we cannot build automated testing for Flow. As Flow continues to get more parity with Apex, including callouts, including Agentforce, we are introducing a plethora of regressions in our orgs that are affecting revenue. And we have to resort to building Apex to test our flows, which is defeats the purpose of declarative development, or buy expensive third-party tools to run these. We have asked over and over, why don't we have any sort of testing on Flow when it's been a core component of all pro-code tools since day one? Now with Agentforce, we're going to see thousands of flows being introduced because each agent requires a flow, which means now we have potential regressions with an LLM model that we can't test as well. So as we look at the changing out change sets and getting quality, where on the roadmap are automated tests and also the ability to, within DevOps Center, be able to do code reviews without having to click 500 times in the canvas to figure out what's going on.
All right. That was a great question. I'm going to add to it just to pile on. Can we address the data in Flow debug emails? Unlike Apex emails, Flow error debug emails contain all data input into the flow, so emails containing PII, PCI are blasted out, so that sounds like a problem as well. There you go. Lots of questions.
Do you want me to go ahead, Parham?
Right, Alex.
All right, great questions. You're absolutely right. Testing automation is lagged in Flow. We're going to work on it. One of the biggest disappointments for the Flow team was we built Flow tests, but we didn't make them API accessible. So you can't automate them. You can't put them into your CI/CD systems, whatever those are. Not a big deal, but the priorities came in. We redirected the group. So we're doing our strategic planning right now for next year. And we're looking at testing automation. We're looking at automatic generation of tests, because that's something that should be done. We're looking at creating a permission that would allow you to be placed at the org level, that would allow you to mandate that tests were, every time a flow went to production, that it had tests, so you could use that if you chose to. And we're also doing a lot of investment into the debug and error management space in general. I'd like to get your contact information, because we're doing a fresh gathering of information, gathering of info on what exactly do we need to do to make Flow more enterprise ready, to make it more robust, make it something that IT departments will love and bless and feel that it makes their jobs easier. Thanks.
If I may just add, I mean, in addition to testing, I think governance is also a really important aspect of Flow, as we're seeing more and more usage of Flow to drive mission-critical processes in organizations. So we're also looking at how we can support governance as well, as we take Flow away from setup to a more of a business analyst tool where you can create processes, but how do we make sure that before you roll something into production, it goes to the same sort of scrutiny that you would put any other code through as well.
Can I have a follow-up on that? So business analysts and flows, now we're introducing engineering rigor into the business with no one, with folks who don't understand DML loops, et cetera. That opens up a quite large area, because already as a client, and I'm seeing other customers, we have horrible, terrible flows out there that are borking environments because we don't apply the education around engineering rigor to low-code tools. I mean, Flow is code, regardless of what happens, because you're still applying those same decision elements, right, in loops, maps, and sets. So we need more education on the development rigor around what Flow actually does behind the scenes.
Completely agree. And that's why governance is really important in that aspect.
Yeah. All right. Great questions. Okay, over here.
Hey, y'all. So
welcome back.
thank you for what y'all do. Really appreciate it. You build some really cool products that we love. But what I would say is sometimes we run into weird challenges. I have an enterprise account. It has less than 5 gigabytes of storage. And when I refresh my sandbox, it doesn't copy all of my data into my partial copy sandbox that has less than 5 gigs available. It selectively copies, and now I have to spend days figuring out what things didn't copy and go get that data into my sandbox. So it'd be nice to not have selective copy on partial, but do a determination of when I make a template, use that template and copy everything that can be copied.
Yeah, that's great feedback. We do copy everything if you do a full copy sandbox, but I understand that in a partial copy sandbox, it can be challenging to figure out what's getting copied. So let's talk afterward. I'll be right here, and we can talk more about what we're doing in the roadmap there. Thank you.
All right, Kush, when will multi-select pick lists be fixed? I didn't know they were broken.
We don't have something on the roadmap for that just yet.
What's broken?
I have no idea myself. So it'll be good to double click on that one.
Yeah, there were multiple issues. After the last one of these, Andrew wrote a blog post about it, which we published to try to help people understand it. And there's now, this is the worst fix on the list. We have now a pop-up when somebody creates a multi-select pick list to warn new admins about, what the challenges are and try to redirect them. There's some other features you can use that will work better for the scenarios, and we're trying to redirect people. But yeah, it's on the list. It's something that we.
All right. Well, it sounds like we need more feedback on that.
Yeah.
Come up on the stage after. Yeah, right here.
Hi. As a longtime developer, I was super excited back when you guys introduced scratch orgs and everything, right? And then I went and I joined .org, and I was super excited because that whole team was doing the managed package approach, and you all started working on 2GP and unlocked packages and stuff. And then fast forward to now coming back out from behind the curtain. It's been a number of years. So if this is an uninformed question, I apologize. But what are we doing to make it easier for those enterprises to enter into the unlocked package? Because to be fair, I inherited a 6-year org that's got the tech debt of like 14 years, and getting to a modernized development process has proven to be difficult. For instance, I can't even create a scratch org right now from our code base because the limits on what I can push with SFDX at the moment seem like very small. I know we have some tools like I think Happy Soup or something like that can help you find those dependencies. But anytime you reach out to somebody, the answer is, yeah, that's hard. Yeah, it is. And so I'm just wondering, is there any additional work going on in that area to help the enterprise get to the point where we can do the modern stuff? Because I'm still very reliant on sandbox development, which gets very hard when you've got 16, 17 teams.
So this is an active area of investment for us. We just launched Scratch Org Snapshots this summer. I'm hearing from a lot of our partners. Some of them were telling me it's 12 times faster, it's 24 times faster. So we want to make this really work for you. We're working with some of our biggest customers right now and our biggest partners to look at the scale limits and how do we break down the packages into sizes that work and get underneath the limits. So actively working on this and would love to partner with you too if you're pushing those limits. We also are building a tool to help companies upgrade from 1GP packaging to 2GP packaging. It's a 2GP migration tool. We're piloting that, and if you would like to be a part of that pilot as well, I would love to talk to you about how to get you onto 2GP packaging. So thank you.
And one little additional plug, I think some of these things will be easier for us if you migrate to Hyperforce. I don't know if you're already on Hyperforce.
Already on it, yeah.
Then we can try some special things and see if that solves the problem. So let's take it off.
Yeah. I would love to do that.
I would love to talk to you to know more about this because we are continually investing both in unlocked packages and scratch orgs. So I would love to know the specific set of challenges that you're running into so that we can bake that into our plan.
How do I find you? Just like right after this?
Yeah, I'll just come back and start.
Wait, everybody needs to introduce
who are you?
themselves.
Oh, sorry. I'm Dilip Burke.
All right.
I'll connect with you.
Dilip is the product manager for all of the scratch orgs and the sandboxes and all of that. So yes.
So I would definitely find out how to get in touch with you today.
All right, thank you.
Good question. Love the hat. Okay. Right here.
This is my 8th True to the Core, so I appreciate you all for everything that you do.
Thanks for your dedication and keep coming back.
I had a question for the 3 at the end, David, Claire, and Srini. I wanted to ask if you're satisfied with Salesforce's use of AI on its public-facing digital property. I feel that
That's a nice softball question.
Well, in 2024, I feel it's kind of ridiculous that we're posting 500 pages of release notes when we're talking about technology that summarizes this and gives us personal examples.
Yeah.
And I find it kind of ridiculous that I can't get code examples. I can't get code examples of how to use those new features that are personalized for my developers. Srini, on the engineering side, I do feel like this latest release, the amount of staggered features is more than ever. And I think it's kind of ridiculous that you expect us to be magically checking to see when these features come available. Why don't I have a bot that tells me when these things are available? I just feel like some of the AI side of things is focused so much on the customers, but we're not able to get our hands on this technology with our interactions.
Can we blame marketing who's not on the stage? Or no?
I'll start and I'll let my colleagues chime in. We're now embracing Salesforce on Salesforce as a core mission for every single one of our clouds. And we think of ourselves as customer zero for every single one of these. So that was not true maybe a few years ago, but it is now.
A few months ago, too.
And yeah, as of a few months ago, this got on the V2 MOM. And so you're going to see Agentforce in support with Jim's organization. You're going to see digital SDRs in sales. You're going to see this in marketing and signing up for the events. So we're going to use everything we've got. So if you have ideas on how we should use it, we'd love to hear them. But we're all in on it. So we agree wholeheartedly. And I think you'll see a year from now, you're going to see a dramatic change.
But I do think his point, like, I'm not sure we're focused as much as we should be on where he pointed. So, and by the way, just go to the Salesforce on Salesforce zone. It's an awesome area. Pick on them if you don't like what we're doing, but we're trying to be better about using our own technology. There's some really good examples. Sorry.
I couldn't agree more with you. I think we've had some early wins. If you haven't tried it, you should engage with Ask Astro, which is built on Agentforce. It's part of the Dreamforce mobile app. And so that's our first foray. But to be completely honest, we're going through the same journey that many enterprises are that have been using Salesforce for a long time, which we have different instances, and we're deploying Data Cloud to be able to make sure that we get our data ducks in a row so that we can enable those use cases that you're talking about. Jim Roth, who you heard from earlier, he leads our customer success and customer support. We're partnered very closely to address those data gaps. We've accelerated that roadmap so that we can deploy exactly what you're talking about in the coming months. And if you have specifics, I'd love for you to come find me after this session because I want to write them down so that we're addressing that as part of our requirements.
And I'll just add one more, that the help and portal, what you're saying, this is definitely, like David said, it's going to change very fast. We'll fix everything you're saying. It's in our list. And then maybe in 3 months or 4 months, you should see a big difference.
Yeah, great question.
Hi, my name is Cassandra. I am a Salesforce admin with Aristotle. And this is my third time asking questions. And I think some of you know what I'm asking for. And so the first one is the night mode. Thank you. That looks amazing. And thank you for listening to the community that we really want to have parity with other web applications that are out there. So can we please have it next release and on the flow builder first?
We're working really fast, really hard. And I remember you asking this question at my very first True to the Core, so thank you for coming back. It's stuck with us, and absolutely continue to give us that feedback.
Thank you. And so there are two other things that's about the old stuff. One is layouts. So we want to move our users to permission sets and permission set groups. That's great. But layouts are still tied to profiles. So I don't know how we're going to move those users. And we don't have a conditional way to give certain layouts to people who are on specific permission set. So that's something that would be nice if we can get it worked with. And should I? Yeah.
Finally, Cheryl gets to answer a question.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Cheryl Feldman. I cover all of the user access features in product. So when we think about profiles, we think of them as very much your one-to-one between user and a setting. Your permission sets and permission set groups really handle your many-to-many. We've always envisioned that page layouts would stay on profiles, but what we've been hearing lately, it's been causing you to have a proliferation of profiles. What I would love to do is have a chat with you post Dreamforce and understand more of your use cases. I think we may need to rethink this a little bit, but then I think about if we put them in permission sets and permission set groups, which one, if you have many, like which one would we show you? So, but I would love to take your feedback on your specific use cases, but it's a good call out. Thank you.
And just to build on that, I want to let all of our closest trailblazers in on a very exciting sneak peek that we are working on. And it's a partnership between Kat, myself, and Silvio from our research team. It's called Generative Canvas for Lightning. And we are using generative AI to dynamically generate page layouts for specific users based on their role, their profile, and what they're working on in that present moment. We just released it in pilot on the App Exchange. We would love you to participate in that pilot. And then we're partnering with Alice to take those learnings and bring it into production next year so that we can be much more dynamic and personalized in the layouts that we offer to our end users.
That's interesting.
Or even better, just live in Slack and have the UI come to you.
So many choices.
Just saying.
And one last thing, and I think this is, I didn't want to hog the mic, but I really wanted to kind of talk about it and get it out of the way. So when you create an object, there is a way to, all the way down at the end, there are a couple checkboxes, and one of them is notes and attachments. Why do we still have that? That's my question.
Parker, did you put that in there?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of removing that setup because Parker may be upset.
Well, just to play devil's advocate.
Do you not want notes and attachments? You may get rid of it?
Yeah, I mean, we're not using notes and attachments in Lightning. That was a classic feature, and we have separate notes and files related lists now, so why do we still have notes and attachments whenever we create an object?
That's a fair point. We'll take
duplicative things. Where's the duplicative guy?
We'll get that addressed.
Back there. Okay. We should fix that. Yeah, good point. I love that. David, we'd love to see the plan to support multi-orgs without the need to purchase duplicative licenses. Let it follow the user if the user moves between orgs. Chris Billmeyer may be in the room. Might be a chance to talk about base suite. So you want to talk about like usage-based pricing or flexibility that we want to do as we think about people moving between orgs? And
Sure. Yeah. One thing that we're very excited about that may not be intuitively obvious to everyone is you can use Data Cloud to harmonize to similar systems, but if you can do that, you can certainly use it to connect different Salesforce orgs. So I believe that we're going to see more and more customers. We already have a bunch doing it, and there's a new set of capabilities around this in the latest release of Data Cloud. So you might want the autonomy of 5 orgs, but you want to put it all together in the cloud.
But they don't want to pay. Like I'm a user, and
I'm getting there. I heard that. And, so that's the first thing is there's a new way to handle this more multi-org situation. We've done a number of things in pricing, like we did this in Tableau actually with CRMA and Tableau, where we didn't want people to have to like pick and choose between which one do you need. So we have a universal license for that. So we don't have an off-the-shelf solution to that.
Yeah.
But we're happy to work with you. We agree that like a user is a user, and you shouldn't have to pay twice for users. So we agree with that.
I think it's the spirit of what we've been trying to do to move to consumption-based pricing, more transparency in our pricing, and so certainly if it's the same user moving around and it's the same amount of work, we should be charging you one set of fees, not multiple. Good question. Okay, where am I going next? I'm going over here. Thank you for that help.
So this is a technical question around knowledge search. I've talked to several people. So for knowledge articles, you can assign data categories, one or more data categories to knowledge articles. But when our customers search for knowledge, they can't limit their search to those data categories. And so they're searching for error messages or something like that, and it's returning a whole bunch of extra knowledge articles that are unrelated to what they need.
Great question. We have our knowledge expert from Service Cloud here, Deborah.
So I'd love to talk to you afterwards. You should be able to filter on data categories. Is there specific use cases? Let's talk about where you're finding that to happen. You really should be able to do that. Are you using it in the? Can you explain a little bit more about where you're struggling with data categories filters?
In our experience customer site, when they do knowledge searches.
Okay, so you're saying in your self-service site?
Yes.
Specifically. Okay, got it. Let's sync up afterwards. A good question. You're absolutely right about that. We should have data category filters there. Let's talk afterwards about that, if you don't mind.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
So we definitely need to solve these data category filters in the knowledge area. But one of the other things I wanted to make the plug is that in our Tableau Einstein keynote yesterday, NK showed how a lot of our customers are starting to use Tableau. And within Data Cloud, we've added this new capability for vector search, where the vector search allows you, or hybrid search allows you to look at a lot of other data and a lot of the unstructured data as well, to look at knowledge articles and kind of search them, match them with cases and other. So one area to look at is, in addition to what we'll do in the platform, to maybe explore like how Data Cloud and Tableau can help you in these things there as well. We're doing a huge amount of investment in unstructured in those two areas.
That's right, and just a huge shout out to the partnership between the Service Cloud and platform teams. We started a journey 2 years ago to offer unified knowledge. We know that you don't just have knowledge in Salesforce, you have many knowledge repositories across your company. So Deborah and her team have been working on that. That was just delivered a few months ago, and it's a really powerful way to bring all of those knowledge sources together, and then, to Mayor's point, to be able to run RAG and embeddings across all of those sources.
All right, great. Over here, please.
First of all, thanks for having this session and then all the leaders listening to us. I believe this is one of the most valuable sessions that we have in Dreamforce. I have two questions related to Hyperforce. There are a lot of Hyperforce migration is happening, but in the recent past, we are seeing multiple performance degrades, especially in Hyperforce arcs. And we did not see these type of things in the first-party data center. Is there anything that is specifically happening with Hyperforce, or is there any attention paid to that? The additional question related to the same thing is, we are seeing some kind of issues related to the platform events and the Hyperforce. The older architecture with which we developed the platform events integration, it's working fine in first-party data center, but the same thing is not working in Hyperforce if there are multiple, if there is a huge surge in the volume. Is there anything that is happening?
I'm curious before we answer. Do you know about Scale Center, or have you used?
Yes.
Do you use that?
Yeah. Scale Center, it's there, but I don't think Scale Center is capturing the platform event related one. So.
Okay.
So just so for everybody to know, I think we have migrated more than 6 million orgs. Correct? Almost like we are 87% of our customers are already on Hyperforce across the world. We have migrated some of the biggest orgs. Immediately after migration, we had an issue with platform events and the way we were syncing with AWS and all. But that I think is resolved. But if it's still there, I would like to know. There was one transient issue with FileForce where we were still accessing because of the time it takes to sync up the old files we had, which we knew, and then we worked with some of our underlying partners and network partners to increase the bandwidth. My understanding is these two issues got resolved some back, but if you have a specific issue, I'd like to know for your specific org and resolve that.
Sure.
But I think so far my experience has been we've migrated thousands of hours, millions, hundreds of petabytes of data. Touchwood, rarely do I see an issue, but these two are, if you're still accessing, I would like to know.
Sure, will do that.
Great. So we have time for one last question. I apologize.
So just want to comment on the Scale Center part of it. So in Scale Center, we're planning to have either an investigation or an insight, just like we launched Apex Guru. So have insights related to platform events as well. So we have a lot of pilots coming. We would love you to participate and give us your feedback on that.
Wonderful.
Hello? Oh, there you go. Hi, I'm King. I'll make this short since we're pretty short on time. I'm so glad to see that night mode is really on the roadmap and it's getting that serious love and attention. I'm a big fan for personal preferences, but I think it's great for people who are light sensitive too. So it's great for accessibility and all that. I just wanted to clarify that it's going to be applied to all the different types of UI interfaces. So not just like end user in Salesforce, but Flow Builder Canvas, Prompt Builder, Model Builder, and other Salesforce affiliates. So like the mobile app and Trailhead as well.
I like your push towards the furthering of the roadmap. Thank you, King. So we are focusing first on what's going to reach our end users. That is the clear set of the roadmap and the timeline that Hillary shared between now and the summer. But we are thinking together about builders. We know that that's where a lot of time is spent and where a lot of eyeballs are draining. So we want to focus on that as we start to figure out what the next stage of this roadmap is. So stay close. I have a session today at 2:45. We'll talk a little bit more about how all this is rolling out. If you want to come by and talk more.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And unfortunately, we are out of time. We didn't get a Slack question, but I will say last year you asked for scheduled send and thread. We did ship that, so hopefully if you're a Slack user, we have that. With that, we will all be here after if you want to come one-on-one, give us questions. Thank you very much for being at Dreamforce. Thank you for being true to the core. Enjoy the rest of Dreamforce.